So many couples don't feel connected because they're having a hard time communicating in ways that actually make them feel connected, right? So a lot of couples are fine with having conversations about logistics, parenting together, paying the bills, and the other stuff involved in marriage that you didn't really think about when you were dating because you were having fun, but are a part of marriage. But when it comes to real conversations, meaningful conversations, conversations of depth where you're talking about struggles, hopes, desires, fears, and those kind of things, many couples struggle to connect with these kind of conversations. Some it comes natural to, but many it does not. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to give you 4 skills that I believe anybody can learn that will help you to have more connecting and intimate conversations that will allow you to build more relational and emotional intimacy in the relationship. That's what we're going to talk about today on RelationShots. Hey, welcome to RelationShots. My name is Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship as well as everybody else's. If you've not already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you want a free guide to intimacy, you'll see a link in the description area below. And if you want a free resource that's tied specifically to this video on 4 conversations to build intimacy, you'll see a link for that in the description area below as well, so that you can not only watch this video, but have a tool that can help you walk it out in your relationship. So let's talk about intimate conversation. And when I say intimate conversation, I don't mean sex. I mean emotional and relational intimacy. All couples want to feel connected, but not all couples are great at having connecting conversation. And so we want to talk about what that looks like. Many couples are fine with logistical stuff, with getting stuff done, but when it comes to real depth, heartfelt conversation, this is not a skill that everybody either saw modeled growing up or is even comfortable doing. But here's the good news. This is a skill that absolutely everybody can learn, and it's pretty simple. So I want to give you 4 simple skills that will help you to get better at having intimacy creating conversations with your partner. Skill number 1 is say what you feel. I told you these are simple, but the ability to connect emotionally requires that we're able to put into words how we are feeling emotionally. Most of the time when emotions are firing and a couple's trying to have a conversation, all this really expresses anger. And all anger does is create more anger, create defensiveness, accusations, and escalate things. You need to be able to explain what is behind the anger, right? They say anger is a secondary emotion. There's usually something behind it. And so the ability to actually express what you are feeling is key if you're going to build depth of intimacy relationally with your partner. So this is things like being able to say, I feel, and then fill in the blanks with how you are feeling in that moment. So maybe something like, I feel accepted, understood, misunderstood, rejected, unappreciated, abandoned, close to you, unaccepted, neglected, betrayed, irritated, lonely, upset, belittled, ashamed, like a failure, romantic, horny, happy, bored, unattractive. You need to be able to express not only what you are feeling, but also why you are feeling that way, right? So in conversation, that may require you to give an illustration or an observation or an insight about what happened and how you felt about what happened. So being able to say what you feel and connect emotionally requires that you not only connect what happened, but you connect it to why the thing happened, and that helps build the relationship. I saw a perfect example of this today when I was with my hairdresser. I know, hair's on point today. Come on, somebody. But my hairdresser was explaining, she's got a new relationship with somebody, and I said, how's it going? She said, good for the most part, no fights. I'm like, come on, man, you gotta have some fight. Like, this is ridiculous. Well, she's all, well, the other day I did something happen that kind of triggered me, and I left the house kind of frustrated. He called to see what was going on. I said nothing, but then later I texted and said, hey, when this occurred, it kind of triggered and reminded me of past relationships and kind of put me in a place where I was like, I'm not going down this road again. And guess what? This dude did a good job. I was like, I'm going to give him a round of applause. He actually acknowledged that, oh, I can see how you felt that way. And then he followed it up with what he was going to do to help not trigger her in the same way again. And so she was able to identify the feeling a little bit frustrated, scared, I'm not going down this road again. With what did it, the trigger, the event, it was when you expressed this. And I was like, perfect. You did exactly what you said, what you feel, and that creates a greater depth of intimacy in their relationship. Skill number 2 is ask open-ended questions, right? So when you're in an intimate conversation and you ask your partner open-ended questions, it conveys that you have curiosity about them and you want to understand what is going on. So open-ended questions are questions like, what are you feeling? What else are you feeling? How did this happen? What do you really want? What are your needs? What choice do you think you need to make? How does this line up with your values? How would you like to see things resolved? If you could do anything without worrying about money, what would you do? Open-ended questions. Speak to curiosity and open up the other person to the fact that you're willing to understand them. And we feel connected to people who are curious about us. That's why everybody loves the dating process so much, because there's another person that seems to want to know all about you and is curious about you, and that feels good. So open-ended questions create that kind of connection and intimacy in the relationship. Skill number 3 is use exploratory statements. So these are statements, again, that you are conveying, not necessarily a question, but it's a statement that is conveying to the other person, give me some more details. I want more. I want to know your heart more. I want to be involved there. So exploratory statements are things such as, tell me the story of what happened. I want to know how you're feeling about this. Tell me what you need right now. It's okay to not know what to do, but what's your guess right now? Tell me what you're most concerned about. I'm listening. Help me understand the situation from your point of view. Exploratory statements show compassion and care for the other person. They know, my gosh, this person really wants to know what I'm experiencing and how I'm feeling, and it makes the other person feel validated. So use exploratory statements. And skill number 4 is express empathy. It's not that difficult, but when you're trying to connect with somebody else, when you want someone to connect with you, you put yourself in their shoes. That's expressing empathy to whatever situation they might be going through. Expressing empathy can look like, that makes total sense. I understand how you feel. I'm on your side. Oh, wow, that sounds terrible. That must have hurt. That is very scary. I totally agree with you. No wonder you felt angry. That must have been really frustrating. Listen, we all desire care, compassion, and empathy. That makes us feel connected to the other person when they're willing to get out of their own shoes, get into our shoes, and go, I wonder what it felt like to be you. That is very connecting in a relationship. So there is 4 very simple skills that anybody can learn and practice to get better at creating conversations that will increase connection and intimacy in the relationship. If you struggle in this, I would say commit these 4 skills to memory, or maybe just pick one. Commit some of the questions or statements or things underneath it that help you in that skill, and then practice them. If your partner struggles in that area, then I'd suggest maybe sit down and watch a video or download the resource below and sit down with them and work through it and say, hey, I think there's some things we can both learn that would help us connect and have more intimate conversations, and then work at it. And if you've got something else that has worked in your relationship, drop a comment. Listen, people can learn from the comments you drop about what has been working in your relationship as well. So drop a comment. Would love to continue the dialogue. Again, if we can help you in any area of your relationship, look at the description area below, and don't forget to download that free resource connected specifically to this video that you'll see linked below as well. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on RelationShots.